confidence in supply opposition. The Sejm, officially known as the Sejm of the Republic of Poland, is the lower house of the bicameral Parliament of Poland. The Sejm has been the highest governing body of the Third Polish Republic since the transition of government in 1989. Along with the upper house of parliament, the Senate, it forms the national legislature in Poland. The Diet is composed of 460 deputies elected every 4 years by a universal ballot. The Sejm is presided over by a speaker called the Marshal of the Sejm. In the Kingdom of Poland, the term Sejm refer to an entire two-chamber parliament, comprising the Chamber of Deputies, the Senate and the King. It was thus a three-estate parliament. The 1573 Henrician Articles strengthened the Assembly's jurisdiction, making Poland a constitutional elective monarchy. Since the Second Polish Republic, Sejm has referred only to the larger house of the parliament. Sejm was the most notable of these councils, in that for the first time in Poland's history it established laws constraining the power of the ruler. It forbade arbitrary sequestration of supplies in the countryside and takeover of bishopric lands after the death of a bishop. These early Sejms did not convene regularly, but only at the king's behest. Following the 1493 Sejm in Piotrków, it became a regularly convening body, to which indirect elections were held every 2 years. The bicameral system was also established. The Sejm then comprised two chambers. The Senate was becoming particularly influential, and with the eventual development of the Golden Liberty, the Sejm's powers increased dramatically. Over time, the envoys in the lower chamber grew in number and power as they pressed the king for more privileges. The Sejm eventually became even more active in supporting the goals of the privileged classes when the king ordered that the landed nobility and their estates be drafted into military service. The Union of Lublin in 1569 united the Kingdom of Poland and the Grand Duchy of Lithuania as one single state, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, and thus the Sejm was supplemented with new envoys from among the Lithuanian nobility. The Commonwealth ensured that the state of affairs surrounding the three-estate system continued, with the Sejm, Senate and King forming the estates and supreme deliberating body of the state. In the first few decades of the 16th century, the Senate had established its precedence over the Sejm. However, from the mid-1500s onwards, the Sejm became a very powerful representative body of the Szlachta. Its chambers reserved the final decisions in legislation, taxation, budget, and treasury matters, foreign policy, and the conferment of nobility. The 1573 Warsaw Confederation saw the nobles of the Sejm officially sanction and guarantee religious tolerance in Commonwealth territory, ensuring a refuge for those fleeing the ongoing Reformation and Counter-Reformation wars in Europe. Until the end of the 16th century, unanimity was not required, and the majority voting process was the most commonly used system for voting. Later, with the rise of the Polish magnates and their increasing power, the unanimity principle was reintroduced with the institution of the nobility's right of liberum veto. Additionally, if the envoys were unable to reach a unanimous decision within 6 weeks, deliberations were declared void and all previous acts passed by that Sejm were annulled. From the mid-17th century onward, any objection to a Sejm resolution, by either an envoy or a senator, automatically caused the rejection of other, previously approved resolutions. This was because all resolutions passed by a given session of the Sejm formed a whole resolution, and, as such, was published as the annual Constituent Act of the Sejm, e.g. the Anno Domini 1667 Act. In the 16th century, no single person or small group dared to hold up proceedings. But, from the second half of the 17th century, the liberum veto was used to virtually paralyze the Sejm, and brought the Commonwealth to the brink of collapse. The liberum veto was abolished with the adoption of the Constitution of 3 May 1791, a piece of legislation which was passed as the Government Act, and for which the Sejm required 4 years to propagate and adopt. The Constitution's acceptance, and the possible long-term consequences it may have had, is arguably the reason for which the powers of Habsburg Austria Russia and Prussia then decided to partition the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, thus putting an end to over 300 years of Polish parliamentary continuity. It is estimated that between 1493 and 1793, a Sejm was held 240 times, the total debate time sum of which was 44 years. After the fall of the Duchy of Warsaw, which existed as a Napoleonic client state between 1807 and 1815, and its short-lived Sejm of the Duchy of Warsaw, the Sejm of Congress Poland was established in Congress Poland of the Russian Empire. It